Thank you very much, David. Thank you, Rick. Thanks, everybody, my dear global locals. I feel so blessed to be here with you. Spoken World Online week number 303. And what a week we've had since we last convened.
Hmm.
And who knows what's going to happen between now and when we meet again next week. Um, so I want to note several things. First of all, I want to say Renee Good, say her name. And I am today remembering my friend, the poet Margot Skinner, on the 33rd anniversary of her death. And Margot said to me many times, "Kid, there's more of us than there are of them, but we are not organized. So let's get organized." And Margot also often broke into this chorus from Woody Guthrie's Union Maid. "You can't scare me. I'm sticking to the Union. I'm sticking to the Union. I'm sticking to the Union. You can't scare me. I'm sticking to the Union. I'm sticking to the Union until the day I die." So, you guys who are familiar with my work, you know that I deal a lot with time and space, and there's a lot of both going on right now. And in addition to everything else, this is Uncle Bob Week. Robert Anton Wilson was born on January 18th, 1932, and he died on January 11th, 2007. And so here's a few quotes from Uncle Bob. "I first heard of the 23 Enigma from William S. Burroughs, author of Naked Lunch, Nova Express, etc. According to Burroughs, he had known a certain Captain Clark around 1960 in Tangier, who once bragged that he had been sailing 23 years without an accident. That very day, Clark's ship had an accident that killed him and everybody else aboard. Furthermore, while Burroughs was thinking about this crude example of the irony of the gods that evening, a bulletin on the radio announced the crash of an airliner in Florida. The pilot was another Captain Clark, and the flight was Flight 23." And Robert Anton Wilson also wrote on guerrilla ontology. "The basic technique of all my books, ontology, is the study of being. The guerrilla approach is to so mix the elements of each book that the reader must decide on each page how much of this is real and how much is a put on." And one more quote from Uncle Bob. "There is no governor anywhere. You are all absolutely free. There is no restraint that cannot be escaped. We are all absolutely free. If everybody could go into Diana at will, nobody could be controlled by fear of prison, by fear of whips, of electroshock, by fear of death, even. All existing society is based on keeping those fears alive to control the masses. 10 people who knew would be more dangerous than a million armed anarchists." And uh, January 11th, in addition to being Robert Anton Wilson's death day, it was the birthday of my grandpa, Walter, who was born in 1904, my mom's stepdad. And he was the grandpa figure in my life from when I was a child until the time of his death in 2002. And this poem is called "I Was on the Occasion of His 90th Birthday." And I just lost it. Let me find it again here. Here it is. This is called Gardening with Grandpa. In 1993, when you were 89, I spent a lot of time gardening with you, Grandpa. We talked leaves and weeds and pruning your old trees. I always a bit quicker with the clippers and the electric hedge trimmer than you wanted me to be. But I only made a few major blunders, and these you apparently forgave me. Between mowing the back lawn and trimming back the ever-present ivy, we talked stories. I'll not repeat them all here now, but I'm glad to have heard them. Stories about your youth. In Frankfurt with your family. In 1930, you came to this country, arriving in Cincinnati in time for the Great Depression. You worked through that and any and all kinds of jobs, served as a warrant officer in the United States Air Force, which you later called the Chair Force, during World War II. On January 5th, 1951, you and Elizabeth married in Cincinnati, moved west to Rio Vista, then Sacramento, eventually settled in Richmond, where you worked at Brookside Hospital for many years, all the while raising three daughters who grew up left home to lead full and successful lives of their own. Every Christmas Eve, the entire family gathered, including two rambunctious grandsons. I can still hear you getting mad. You boys, stop swirling around in that chair. You're going to knock over the lamp. And then when the whole family had been shunted off to the middle room, giggling and listening at the door, you alone remaining in the front of the house, then we would hear the sleigh bells. Your happy greeting and Santa Claus's resounding ho, ho, ho. Once I asked, why does Grandpa get to see Santa Claus? Because Grandpa is the oldest of us all, and he has known Santa for a long, long time. Santa Claus's visit is still a moment of pure magic that occurs for our family when we get together every Christmas Eve. After you retired from Brookside, you had more time to enjoy your garden, daily walks, books, music, and travel. A granddaughter arrived and then a great-granddaughter. And today I am proud to introduce you to, for the very first time, a second great-granddaughter. Born very early Christmas Day while Santa Claus still made his yearly rounds. Today, your family and friends have gathered here with you to celebrate your 90th birthday. 90 years is a long time, and the world has been transformed since you were born in 1904. Today, we congratulate you for the long road you have traveled, stretching back to before the rest of us were born, in the baby's case, nearly 90 years. From you, we have learned that common sense, a practical view of life, diligent husbandry, and careful conservation of one's resources can take one a very long way indeed. I am looking forward to joining you again in your garden for more hard and honest work, and hopefully more stories over morning coffee and at lunchtime when the boss rings the bell, or while pruning the trees, clearing out the weeds, and cutting back the ivy. And if you all will indulge me for just another couple of minutes here, I want to note the death of Bob Weir on Saturday. So I want to finish up with these words from Bob Weir and John Barlow. Walk in the sunshine. Look out, because here comes some free advice. Walk in the sunshine. Watch for the bright sign. Be all the things you're able to be. You got to listen to the heavens. You got to try and understand. The greatness of their movement is just as small as it is grand. Try not to hurry. It's just not your worry. Leave it to those all caught up in time. You got to deep six your wristwatch. You got to try and understand. The time it seems to capture is just a movement of its hands. I ain't preaching. I don't know how to make fast things move along slow. I can't stop it, can't make it go. Just because I say it, that don't mean that it's so. Because folks always say, watch what you hear now. Make sure it's clear now. Just because it's said, don't mean that it's true. You got to make a revolution. You got to help me with my cause. You got to burn down all the buildings and rub out all the laws. I ain't burning. Lord, I'm still learning how to become a man of my own. I ain't crazy, nor am I lazy. I just want to find out what's right and what's wrong. I ain't burning. Whole world keeps on turning. Still trying to find out what's right and what's wrong. I ain't crazy. Thanks for listening to me, everybody.
Thank you, my good friend. Uh, I love these lines. There is no governor anywhere. We are all absolutely free. How amazingly true. Even if we were shackled to a wall or what have you, we can be free mentally from whatever circumstances we're in. Uh, what a lovely family tribute to your grandpa, colorful character. I cherish everything that I got from my grandfather. Father, this is a silver dollar from 1900, and it's even made it into a poem as a metaphor, like for the moon. So, wow! Thank you so much for all of that. Let me
I
get
just want to say I do have a new poem that I've started about these times we're living through, and I'll share that here, of course, when it's done. And
God
may we
bless.
all continue to live through them and continue together.
Indeed.